Reporting continues tonight on In Focus, Newzroom Afrika, channel 405. And thank you for staying us, of course, as the voting continues in Newzroom. There are celebrations currently going on now that Argentina have sealed their third World Cup title after defeating France in a penalty shootout. Newzroom Afrika's Vuyo Macoba is live for us with some Argentinian fans, and he's at the Marks Park. Vuyo, what are the people saying there on the ground? I'm sure it's celebrations all around, especially for the Argentinian fans.
I can tell you now, Thabo, celebrations are going to go out throughout the night here in Johannesburg with this Argentinian community who are just as happy to not only see the Argentinian team win the World Cup, which is their third one. The last time they won it was back in 1986, and it's taken 36 years later for them to lift it again. But of course, they are happy to see Lionel Messi. At the time in 1986, Messi was not even born. He was born a year later than the time that Argentina won this World Cup. So they get to see him now. It's been one trophy that has been elusive for Lionel Messi. He's won 7 Ballon d'Or titles. He's won the Copa America. He's won the Champions League with Barcelona. And this was one that was still remaining. Of course, one of the things that it puts down to paper now is the fact that the conversation about who's the greatest player of all time can be put to bed at this point. Everybody here behind me can tell you now that it's not a doubt that in this generation, Lionel Messi now can be counted the greatest player of all time. What does that mean? It means he goes on the throne with the likes of Maradona. He goes on the throne with the likes of Pelé, who have, of course, led their teams back in the 60s and the 70s to prestigious World Cup finals and World Cup titles. He now sits on that throne with him. He also becomes, of course, the 9th player in the history of football to have won a Ballon d'Or, to have also won a Champions League and a World Cup in his career. Only 35 years old with this player. One of the fans that's standing next to me right now is Tajim. I think it's a similar joy for yourself regarding this victory. One that you guys have been watching with keen eyes from when the tournament started in Qatar.
Yes, correct. We lost 2-1 to Saudi Arabia in the opening game against Saudi Arabia, so that worried us big time, right? But then again, then the boys picked it up. Then we played Netherlands. We 2-2 drew against Netherlands, and then we won in the penalty shootout. Again in the final, they made us worry, our nation, but they made it. They got it. My heart almost came out of my chest, so that's how worried we were. But we made it. Messi made it. Everyone wanted Messi to have the trophy because he's got everything else in the cabinet. Now he's got the World Cup, so I think we can settle the GOAT debate now.
Did you ever feel like you were not going to get it today? I mean, you led 2-0, and at some point then France pulls those 2 goals back, sends the match to extra time, but again, the GOAT, Messi, comes back and sends it to the penalty shootout. A penalty shootout is a lottery for any team, but at the end, you're the ones that grab it at any point. Did it ever feel like at some point this title was slipping away?
I thought when Mbappe scored his second goal, like in the last moments, I thought we're gonna give it away. But again, the boys came up, they went all out, they scored a third goal, and then France equalized 3-3, went to the penalties. Like you said, it's 50-50 at the penalties, but we made it. We're the lucky ones in the penalties. But for Messi, I think most importantly, Messi has done it for the legend Maradona. So Messi, for me, Messi equals Maradona.
I'm going to let you go and see Messi. I think it's about time that he's going to lift the trophy now. And I don't think anybody wants to lose that picture, not seeing Messi lift that trophy.
Thank you very much.
As you can hear it, Chabo, and you can hear with the fans in the background that are singing for Argentina and this triumph. It's their third World Cup in their history. But of course, like I said, the headlining thing for tonight is Lionel Messi finally grabbing that elusive World Cup title and of course putting to bed the GOAT status, which he grabs. I can imagine how scenes are at the Lusail Stadium in Qatar right now. I can imagine how scenes are better in Buenos Aires, back in Argentina. It's crazy. It's going to be a crazy night. But for us here in Johannesburg, we stay and we celebrate with the Argentina fans. It's the end of the World Cup, and of course, Argentina goes on to the throne. And Thabo, just one thing before I push it back to you is, in the beginning of this, as the match was coming in, American rapper Drake had put a bet on Argentina. And we know about the Drake curse, is that whatever team he bets on, whatever athletes he stands next to for a photo, that player never wins, or that team never ever wins. It's called a Drake curse. This time around, the Drake curse didn't go through. So we can safely say that Drake is back to his good matches. He had put $1 million for this match, and he goes on to grab $2.75 million back into his pocket. And that's how great it is. We end it here. This is what we call the beautiful game. And it ends with Argentina at the top of the world. It's back to you in studio.